Hello, sirs. How are you? Nice to see you. Wow, 2 carts.
Yeah,
Impressive. How are you? You okay? I found something in the New World Translation where I think Hebrews 1:5 is mistranslated. It should read, "You, Jehovah, at the beginning, O Jehovah, laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens the work of your hands." Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10, you see, is a quotation of Psalm 102. I've got your New World Translation here. Don't you want to look at your own Bible? You're not scared of your own Bible, are you? And in Psalm 102 verse 1 and verse 12, it's Jehovah who is the creator of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. Oh well, there they go, running away again, like brave Sir Robin, eh? Like brave Sir Robin, the Monty Python knight. Run away, run away! Brave Sir Robin ran away, away, bravely ran away, away. Da 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 da. When danger reared its ugly head, he bravely turned his tail and fled. Bravest of the brave, Sir Robin. Hello there. Hello, Russ. Good to see you. Your lucky day. You look pleased to see me. Pardon? Yes, he's pleased to see me. He looks happy. He looks happy. I've got your New World Translation here.
Oh, good.
I found something that's mistranslated at Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10.
Well, why don't you write the committee and tell them?
Well, I'm speaking to you.
Well, I'm not a committee.
No.
Well, I'm not
The trouble is the
about it.
committee know as much Greek as you and I do, which is next to nothing. It says, do you want me to show you?
Not
Hebrews
really.
chapter 1 verse...
No point.
Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10 says,
no
"You,
point.
Lord, in the beginning laid the heavens, the foundations of the earth, the heavens are the work of your hands." If I just get it out here, Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10, very windy today, "And at the beginning, O Lord, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens the work of your hands." Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10. Now, do you know where that's a quote from? It's a
No,
quote
but
from
sure-
an Old Testament
I'm
passage.
sure you'll tell us.
Psalm 102.
There are they.
Psalm 102 is ascribed to Jehovah.
Didn't need to ask me, did you?
Could you like to hold it? Is that possible? Thank you. If you go to there, it's Psalm 102. Thank you very much. So Psalm 102, verse 1, is talking to Jehovah. "Hear my cry, O Jehovah, hear my prayer." Yes? And Psalm 102, verse 12, "But you remain forever, O Jehovah, and your fame will endure for all generations." So the context is Jehovah. And Jehovah is ascribed as the creator from Psalm 102, verses 24 to 26.
Yeah.
So it says, "Long ago you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands." Well, that's Jehovah, isn't it? Jehovah in Psalm 102, verse 25, Jehovah laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens the work of your, Jehovah's, hands.
Yeah.
But in Hebrews chapter 1, God the Father speaks, and he applies that to Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He speaks to the Son.
Yeah.
He speaks to the Son from, yes, and he says, "You, Jehovah," it should read, "You, Jehovah, in the beginning laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens the work of your hands." Why doesn't it read Jehovah there?
It's really echoing that.
Sorry?
It's really echoing that Jehovah was there to help Jesus. That Jesus was there to help Jehovah, and that he was his right-hand man. And Jehovah's really giving him the respect that he deserves, Jesus, for helping him in that job of creating everything. So yeah.
But Jehovah is the creator at Psalm 102 verse 25.
And Jesus was
Long
the
ago you laid the foundations of the earth, And the heavens, the work of your hands. O Jehovah are verse 1 and verse 12. That's Jehovah.
Because that's somebody else saying about Jehovah, because at that point it was all praise to Jehovah, but obviously Jehovah was aware that Jesus helped him. Can you not put that right in my face?
I'm sorry, I do apologise.
Well, stop recording.
He has to get you talk up so you can hear it
exactly.
in there. So he puts it all there.
Yeah.
So
I know, I'm wicked, aren't I?
I could say something else, but I won't.
Go on, do it for my subscribers.
Yeah.
Tell them what you think of me.
I'm sure they know.
They know. But look,
But yeah,
Hebrews,
it's given him the respect to say that Jesus
Hebrews
was his
chapter
helper.
1.
But anyway, even if it's misprinted, what are we supposed to do about it?
Except that Jesus is Jehovah.
Well, not
And you, and at the beginning, O Lord, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. That's the Father speaking to the Son, and he ascribes Psalm 102 verse 25 to the Son.
Because it was a partnership that they both
Well, it doesn't say there was a partnership. You're reading that into the text.
Jesus is the firstborn, always has been.
I beg your pardon?
Jesus is the firstborn, always has been.
Well, we've gone through that before. Firstborn doesn't mean first created. They're different Greek words at Colossians 1:15. I can be back if you like. Speak again if you like. If
Not particularly.
It's up to, we can't stop people from coming up.
Well, I don't want to bother you too much. I mean, seeing me once a fortnight's probably enough for. Sorry, is it Ross or Ross?
Oh, well.
I always get mixed. I'm dyslexic.
Fading or something,
I'm dyslexic. I get mixed up.
So I've got the same problem.
All right. Well, I'll see you later. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, has the new Watchtower come out yet? There's a new one out soon.
The one about grief is out,
Is it in here? Can I have a copy of it?
Yeah, the one over in town.
Oh no, they ran away when they saw me. They don't like me very much.
It's on the website if you ever wanted to see it on the website.
I always like a paper copy so I can go through it and mark it up and then show you a few things in it. But okay, I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. Hi Russ. Do you ever speak to anyone apart from me? Do you ever get into long conversations with people, or?
It has been known.
But very, very little interest, I presume, now.
Like all things, they reckon 40% of Britain now is non-Christian.
Yeah, very little interest. Oh, well, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry you don't have conversations at the cart, but you've got me. I'm certainly keen. I'm not going to get my New World Translation out again, but what do you mean good? You can't say good.
I can. You know more, you probably know it better than I do. So I can say good.
Okay. What do you think then about Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10? Quoting from Psalm 102, where in Psalm 102,
If I answer, will you let me just speak?
and I will let you speak without interruption. I'll put the camera here so Russell's shielding from the wind.
So I personally, exactly. Slightly, I feel like the angle's a little bit off there. So personally, I am just speaking for me. I don't know.
Oh, come on, Russ. Let the lady speak.
So I am not speaking from the organisation's point of view. I'm only speaking for me because I haven't researched. But what I would say is, David had no idea that Jesus was involved in helping Jehovah create the earth. So when David spoke in Psalms, or the psalmist, I think it just says the psalmist, I'm not sure if it was David, but presuming it's David, he wouldn't have known, because it wasn't until Jesus came to the earth that he told people that he helped Jehovah create the earth. So when it's speaking in Hebrews, they were aware of that by that point. So he would have been aware by the time Hebrews was written that Jesus had helped Jehovah. So when it speaks in Hebrews about you and speaking about to Jesus, it's because they had become aware that Jesus was also involved, whereas David or the psalmist in Psalms wouldn't have been aware of that point by that point. So that's what I think it's obviously referring to. So there you go.
Well, thank you for your explanation. I didn't interrupt.
Again,
I did let you speak without interruption. Thank
Again,
you.
it's not the organisation. It's
No, I
purely
understand
my
that.
point of view, but that's what I would say.
My response to that would be Isaiah chapter 44, verse 24, which states very clearly that Yahweh God, or Jehovah in your translation, your New World Translation, Jehovah God creates all alone and by myself. And it's talking about the creation of the universe ex nihilo, out of nothing. Jehovah God creates, quote, all alone and by myself.
Yeah.
So the only creator is Jehovah God.
Yeah.
There are no demigods or angels who are helping him.
Yeah.
The only one who creates is Jehovah. And Psalm 102 is about Jehovah. Verse 1 and verse 12 both mention the name Jehovah in your New World Translation. And the context is still Jehovah when it says, you in the beginning laid the foundations of the earth and the heavens, the work of your hands. Now the word Lord is added because remember this is a quotation not from the Hebrew but from the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation, the 70. So at Hebrews chapter 1 verse 10 it's quoting from the Septuagint, but the Father applies this to the Son. You, Jehovah, it should read, in the beginning laid the foundations of the earth and the heavens the work of your hands. So when you consider that Jehovah God creates all alone, quote, and quote, by myself at Isaiah 44:24, the only creator is Jehovah. And by the Father ascribing creation to the Son, it means that the Son, as well as being a man, is also Jehovah or Yahweh God.
So our translation is obviously the New World Translation, so I would have to see the Isaiah scripture to know.
It's in my bag. Do you want me to get it out?
I mean, that's all right.
It's in the, if you undo the zip up. No, okay.
I don't know your name.
Robert.
Robert. What I would say is obviously.
Sorry, it's a bit rude turning my back to you. I'm sorry. I do apologise.
That's all right.
Sorry, that's rude.
That's
what the Jehovah's Witnesses do to me down there.
Oh, that's all right. Obviously, this avenue of ministry is for people to prepare times for people to have conversations with them at another time. So obviously, if you wanted to, our main, this is kind of like not a branch, but this is the one that we come here. Our main one is in the town centre. So if you wanted to arrange for somebody to come and have a conversation, or even if you apply on our website for a home Bible study, we don't really, if people show an interest, like this gentleman is, then we would try.
I won't disturb the gentleman. I don't want to disturb you in what you're doing.
We would then arrange another time to call back because we don't really want to have massive conversations while other people are walking past.
Of course.
Being able to see. So.
If you want to speak to me with a male brother, then I'm happy to speak to, well, not just two of you, 3, 4, 5 of you. Bring several male brothers along with you.
What I would recommend, if it's okay with you, is to do it on the website, because then it's people who are nearer to you in your area, and it's easier to get somebody who's able to find you at a time that's good for you and in an area that's good for you. It's all set up for that.
I think I'm on the band list as an,
we don't have a
difficult as an opposer.
No,
I think I'm down as a poser because Jehovah's Witnesses called police about the last video I did. It's got 4,000 hits. It was only a few days ago.
You're internet famous.
Well, the African brother called the police, and the police actually arrived. So that video is quite popular on my channel. 4,000 hits. My Jehovah's Witness series, where I speak to Jehovah's Witnesses here in Plymouth, is now 750,000 hits. So it's quite something. But thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And do think about Isaiah 44:24, that Jehovah God creates all alone and by myself.
I'll definitely have a look, and next time I see you, maybe I'll have an answer for you.
Yeah. You can certainly get in contact with me. The elders know my address at Ernie Seppel Hall. They've got my address, they've got my contact.
So I'll see if I,
and I'm happy to speak if you want to come with several male elders. In fact, there's a community room at my block of flats. A huge community room, bigger than this area here, about twice this area here.
Lovely. That's great.
Kitchen, toilet facilities, everything. So lots of tables. So I'd be willing to speak to half a dozen of you. Okay, thank you very much.
Lovely to meet you.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye. Hello sir, pleased to meet you. How are you? I've been looking at jw.org and I'm a bit confused by the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. One of your videos for the 2018 convention, it describes Jesus, it has Jehovah's Witnesses. They're in a field and they're about to be attacked by an army of policemen with guns. And then Jesus comes in the cloud, but Jesus has a gold band around his head, and he also has a bow in his hand, and I was confused because that's Revelation 6, isn't it? That's not Revelation 19, where Jesus is said to symbolically have a sword coming out of his mouth, a sword representing the word of God. I'm just confused why it's Revelation 6, the picture of the white horse and the rider has a bow and a gold headband. I was confused about that.
Right. Would there not be any...
Was there any explanation with it? Because we can't bring it to mind.
I mean, all I can remember the one about the...
I'm sure you know more than us, Robert, because you've challenged us many times, haven't you?
Well, I've spoken to you many times, but I never seem to get answers. That's the
perhaps
trouble.
we haven't got the answers for you.
But surely you're going to find the answers, because if you love Jehovah,
Yes.
you love Jehovah with all your heart, your mind, your
Yes.
soul and your strength.
Yes.
You're going to find the answers and do twice the work that I do. I've never been a Jehovah's Witness.
No, that's
but if I spend
okay.
hours on JW
But we
Walk
don't-
researching stuff, you're
we're
going to do
not-
double that, because you
We're
love
not
Jehovah.
going to challenge you,
Yeah.
so we're keeping
Well,
it like
I'm
that.
not trying to challenge you. I'm just saying.
Well, we know you've challenged others and you've made a problem with others, so we'd rather
Well,
not respond.
only because they can't
Okay,
respond to
well,
my
accept
question.
we can't respond. We're a failure to you, okay?
Well, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're lovely people. But I think that perhaps you don't study the Bible and research
well,
like
you'll
the
have to
Bereans.
accept we don't study as well as you do, so...
Well, in your case, as I do, it's as the Bereans do. You see, the trouble I have is that in Revelation 6:1, the Lamb, that's Jesus, sends out the four horsemen of the apocalypse: the white horse, the black horse, the red horse, and the mottled, or the greenish horse. And the rider with the bow, although there are some Christian commentators who have said in the past it is Jesus Christ, they're very much a minority, and I think they're wrong. I think it pictures the beast, or the Antichrist, riding out to conquer. Because in the Jehovah's Witness broadcasting video, the headband, the gold headband, and the arrow with the bow pictures Apollo. Apollo in Greek mythology was the brother of Diana. They both had bows, and they both had a band around their head.
I'm sure other people use bows as well as
Sorry?
Apollo. I'm sure other people use bows as well as Apollo in Greek mythology.
Well, the one who has a victory laurel around his head, sometimes symbolized as leaves, sometimes symbolized as a golden band, and also rides out with a bow and arrow to conquer. There's two. The female is Diana, and the male is Apollo. Mm-hmm. So it seems to me that in this Jehovah's Witness video,
I'm not going yet.
I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm happy to be corrected.
haven't you?
It seems that the Jehovah's Witness video is saying that it's actually Apollyon
All right,
who's coming
Margaret, bye, dear.
to rescue these Jehovah's Witnesses in the field. Because remember,
I don't know where you get that from.
well, Venice finished The Mystery of God, one of your books, published in 1969, a commentary on Revelation. Says on page 232 that Jesus Christ is Apollyon, that's a name for the devil, from the bottomless pit. And Apollyon comes from the name Apollo. And Apollo in Greek mythology, he's the twin brother, he's the twin of Diana. Diana is the female, Apollo is the male. They both have a laurel wreath of victory around their head, or a golden band, and they both have a bow and arrow, and they ride out to conquer souls.
Robert, we know you're an aggressive debater and we don't wish to get into it, okay? So would you please leave us?
Okay, I'll do that then, but
Thank
just
you.
let the gentleman have the last say. He's about to say something. I'll listen and go.
No, it's just, I mean, we just accept, perhaps more readily than you do, that the scripture in Matthew 24:45, where it talks about who really is the faithful and discreet slave, we accept that who that faithful and discreet slave is, that we are being fed, and we accept also that you know, if you look at the scriptures, you could put all sorts of interpretations on the scriptures if you take things out of context. If, on the other hand, you take the Bible as a whole, then it makes sense, and we've accepted the faithful and discreet slave.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
We've accepted that the faithful and discreet slave have done a terrific job in putting that together, and we believe that they are the true faithful and discreet slave in Matthew 24:45, and therefore we're happy to go along with what is we're told, because we believe it is the truth.
So you have blind faith in these 8 men in Brooklyn,
I'm not saying
Warwick, New York. Whatever they say, you have blind
we
faith
don't
in
say we
their
have
teachings.
it's not blind faith, because we prove it for ourselves. But we do accept that the truths that we're getting from them is in fact better than you could get from anybody else.
So they're the only ones in church history for 2,000 years who have said on page 232 of Then is Finished, the Mystery of God, that Jesus Christ is Apollyon, that's a name from the devil from the bottomless pit.
I can't say that. I don't understand that. I've not seen it. I don't
Would
know.
you check it out? It's one of your books. It's on jw.org. I've looked at it on jw.org. Then is Finished, the Mystery of God. I've actually got the book. If you want me to bring it in, you can see it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know about that because it goes to... We don't tend to go back now more than 2000, so most of the
No,
stuff-
you do. You have watchtowers back to 1950. If you go to the
Yeah, I know, but we tend
publications
not... What I'm
section.
saying is we tend not to go back because we've accepted that things have moved on and that...
You mean false
that
prophecies have been...
Clarification has taken place because the scriptures have told us anyway that as we get closer to the time of the end of this system, scriptures will become clearer, prophecies will become clearer, the light would get lighter and brighter at the time of the end. That's what the scriptures tell us. So we accept that we have...
It doesn't say the light will get brighter at the time of the end.
Okay,
That's Proverbs
well, in that
4.
case,
I mean,
that's what-
you just made it up.
No, it didn't.
There is no faithful and discreet slave. It's just a parable.
So the Matthew 24:45 doesn't...
It's a parable.
I'll have that.
There is
Thank
no
you.
body of men
Okay.
called a faithful and discreet slave. They just invented that to give themselves power and authority.
Okay.
And the idea that Jesus Christ, my precious holy Saviour, is Apollyon the devil from the bottomless pit is blasphemy.
Never heard that before.
Page 232 of Then is Finished, the Mystery of God.
Yes, okay.
If you check it up in your own literature, this is your own literature. And the people who accompany Christ, the 144,000 who accompany him, the 144,000 locusts, page 233 says they're the anointed Jehovah's Witnesses. Anyway, thank you, sir, for your time.
Bye, Robert.
Okay, bye, Mum.
Yeah,
May I have one of the watchtowers?
of course you can.
I do actually read it assiduously.
But it is blasphemy according to you, so why should you want to read it?
I will read it to check out what you teach. Thank you, Mum.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Mum.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.